Hey you, I'm the Queen of Shade. Welcome to the interview. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit my Cash App to support your favorite content creator. Now let's get to the interview. Mwah.
Queen of Shade. Let me tell you something. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too.
Salutations, Tufos. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming to you with another special presentation. I am totally enjoying what I do. I never thought that when I started as a recording artist and only a recording artist or a fashion model in Paris, that I would be doing what I'm doing today. And I love it. I love bringing beautiful human beings to my platform and us having very real, very authentic conversations. And with that being said, I have someone very special that you need to meet. This person, like I said, first off, is a beautiful human. He also is a yoga enthusiast, a dentist, and he was also on 12 Dates of Christmas, season 2 on HBO Max. Please help me welcome to my platform, Dr. Markelle Smith. Hi.
Hello, Queen.
How are you?
Fine. Thank you for asking. Wow, such an introduction.
Oh wow, yeah, oh yeah. This is how we do it over here.
Like, ooh.
Yeah, this is how we do it. But you have a lot to celebrate. And that's why I even reached out to you because, you know, even with what you do, being a dentist and being an actor and, you know, just all of those things, a beautiful human, you know, that takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
No, it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of skill. You know, I've been in this business of entertainment for 20 years and it didn't work for me until the last 6. So, you know, it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of conversations with yourself as to why am I doing this? This sucks. I'm not getting callbacks. You know, they're being told we're going in a different direction. You know, you're not what we're looking for. We get that and we get that and we get that. So when I see someone like yourself, such as yourself, who is just a diligent go-getter, I have to bring you on and praise you and talk to you and learn about you just a little bit, nothing too personal. So let's start with, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. It's my day off. And I love to relax. I'm as much of a go-getter as you described me. I love to just be lazy.
Yeah.
I love to sit at home, lay on the couch, literally do nothing, play on my phone, and just relax.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah, I love that because I like to do that too. Because I'm always working. I don't look like this all the time. I don't look like you, but the persona, like I bald head, you know, at home, laying in the bed. And you know what's so crazy? I work so much with content creation and then also running my own LLC behind it. I literally have like my computer. I sleep with my computer and my phone.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and that's why I brought you on, because I knew that we could have a conversation for the world about discipline, what it takes to achieve your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations. Because Doc, I was calling you Doc even when we were texting, because it's so many people want the prize, but they don't want the struggle or the persistence or the perseverance that goes into making yourself a reputable person. The reason why I say that is, like I said, I started off with being in the entertainment industry for 20 years. There's a reason. I turn around and I started as a model. I got the opportunity to go to Paris. This is why I could be very chic at only 3:52 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. I can be very chic. I know how to put it on, put it off. And that didn't go well. It didn't go well. It was derailed. Then I come back to the States and I'm about to sign with a major record label because I do have music out, I sing. And that went the way of the world. And it was like, I was young then, I was younger. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And it took me looking inside, first of all, centering myself and drawing on what I had learned from those that I looked up to, and then putting in the work diligently, year after year after year after year. It's so funny because people will say to me, with this platform, it's new. It's new. I do it for my website and YouTube. It's new, doc. So people are like, oh, well, not a lot of people are watching. That's what they say to me. So then they're like, but how are you getting these kinds of guests to come on and talk to you? And I'm like, sweetie, because unbeknown to you, I gave this platform, Instagram, 6 years of my life, where they heard me speak, they heard me expound. So I have their respect, even though I clearly don't have yours. So I said all of that to say that, diligence and hard work are such integral parts of success. And I'm gonna start with this because for you to be a dentist and an actor, they require so much time, and not just time, a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of study, what's new, learn your lines. It's just so much. And I'm sad to say, but not too many people can do it. They don't have the it factor, and everybody thinks that means beauty. No, it means the brain capacity to stick with it when it doesn't look like it's going right, and still see it through even when everything around you is screaming, quit, you're about to drown. And you're like, no, it almost looks like you're insane, but you're like, I'm gonna do this.
Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start with you. Like I said, you're a dentist. We'll get to that. Where are you from? Where were you born?
So I'm from Demopolis, Alabama. I was born about an hour north in Northport, Alabama.
Okay.
And I grew up in Demopolis. Me and my brother, older brother, younger sister.
Yeah.
My parents divorced when I was 8 years old.
Oh.
And they both subsequently remarried. So raised between a two-parent co-parenting household. And yeah, so literally, everything that you were saying, I can completely identify with.
Yeah.
I am so fortunate that my mom, she was the one in my life who just sort of instilled that in me from such a young age. The idea that you just don't give up.
Yeah.
I remember I played the trumpet in middle school, and I was learning how to play this song, and it had a really high note in it. And I just could not hit this high note. As much as I tried, I just couldn't hit the note. And I was crying. I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, I can't get the note. And she was reading her newspaper. She was flipping through the newspaper. And she said, boy, if you don't get your ass out my... And like that moment stands out so much for me, like in everyday life. It's just the idea that not necessarily that you don't cry, because we all have those moments of defeat, quote, that we feel like we've lost, or we feel like, sorry, I have my neighbors screaming. Okay. We have these moments where we feel like we've been defeated, or we feel like nothing's going our way. And I have that, that voice in my head. It's like, if you don't get your ass out of my face and just keep going, keep trying, and just keep going, because you don't have another choice. You don't have any other choice.
Yeah.
The other choice is just to stop. And then if you stop, you'll never get it then.
Yeah. I love what you're saying here, because it shows that your mother, even when she was like, boy, she forged that stick-to-itiveness, that diligence, that if you can't solve the problem, you better fucking figure it out. And sometimes people say, oh, well, that's tough. Well, do you know the world? Have you seen the world we live in? Have you seen the world we live in? Have you seen what happens to people when they don't have A, the resources, and B, the drive? Because, for me, I started in the projects of Northern Philadelphia. My mother drug addict, 25 years of my life, all the way up until I was about 25. And my father, mental illness, they both had mental illness, collecting checks from the government. And, mental illness is hereditary. So that was supposed to be my lot. Do you see my lot in life? I went to college. I'm there for biology, pre-veterinary medicine. I love animals. I'm doing it. Second year, I turned 19. There are stressors because I'm on campus that I've never experienced before. And the class load, the workload, I'm trying to pledge a fraternity. I'm thinking that I can handle all of these things. And the bottom fell out. It was the first manic episode I had ever had. It was, to this day, it was the most traumatic. It was the most embarrassing. It was the most public and a manic episode I've ever had, second to Paris. But, it was like I came home, and people don't understand that hardships are a part of the process. Like you said, failure is a part of the process. I cried for 7 months straight about my life when I came home on the patio with my grandmother. I sat there every day in the dark, before the sun came up until the sun went down at night, crying about my life, because my childhood, though we were able to move to the suburbs and get out of the inner city, it was still a struggle for me because I still carried with me the traumas of being bullied and molested and raped. There were so many things that happened that even though I was removed from the environment, they were still with me. So my grandmother was my voice, and she would say to me, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Yep. And I could take it from her because I had seen her mother die at 17, her have to drop out of high school when she was valedictorian.
Oof, wow.
Yeah. All these colleges wanting to give her scholarships, full rides. Her mother dies, 17. She has brothers and sisters. She doesn't know what she's going to do. She turns to the church at that time for help. What do they say? Oh, go marry a man. Have some babies. Be a wife. So 17, she marries my grandfather, is pregnant by 18, first child. And the babies keep coming, 5 of them. And the man is slowly walking out the door. He's doing all kinds of things in the street. So then she has to figure out how she's going to handle her life and the lives of her brothers and sisters, 2 of them, her and her children. So she's raising 7 children. Oof. But this woman went to community college, got her associates, aligned her credits so effortlessly that when she left community college to go to university, they took all of her credits. She then only had to do a year, and she walked with a bachelor's of education.
Wow.
Not only that, she could, now mind you, raising kids, making sure, she told me, I was home from class, cooking, doing laundry, helping with homework. I don't know how she did it, Doc. She doesn't stop there. She goes for her master's.
Wow.
Secures her master's and stops 32 credits shy of her doctorate. And the only reason she stopped there is because her body was sick and she had to have a full hysterectomy or she was to die.
Yeah.
I come from a line of fighters. And for a long time, it pained me to not have a college degree. It pained me. Every time I saw my classmates at the mall or out, I would burst into tears and be uncontrollably unable to be calmed or quelled. I would die every time I saw them because I was known to be bright. I was known to be intelligent and gifted. All of these things that I do today came out in high school. I showed early, but yet and still, I didn't have the support. So I uplift people like you because you just let me know it wasn't a bed of roses for me. I don't have a silver spoon in my mouth. I too have had to fight for everything that I have. So tell me, this is a unique question. I usually don't go here. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Demopolis High School. It was a school of about 700 students,
Mm-hmm.
and there were about 160 in my class.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
Was it like, because see, I did have the privilege. Was it like college prep? Did they prepare you for college? How was the curriculum?
We had advanced placement courses. I took a few of those.
Okay.
And it was just sort of one of those things where my mom, she just sort of pushed me. It was like she knew, and I could sort of like sense that like what she was doing was the right thing. And it was just like, I didn't feel forced. It was just the right amount of encouragement that I needed.
Yeah.
And so when it came to apply to college, it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you were going to go undergrad? What was your undergrad, your degree? And then when did you decide you were going to be a dentist?
So my undergrad degree was in Spanish. When I first got to college, I didn't know what I was going to do. My mom was a nurse.
Okay.
I was kind of already leaning towards the health field. Math and science came kind of naturally to me. And so it was sort of like a pick and choose kind of experiment with the different fields. I was pre-nursing at first. I was pre-pharmacy at one point. My brother's a pharmacist. And I just found my way to dentistry. I joined a pre-dental society, and I kind of learned about sort of the combination of art and science, because it is an art. And the reason why I chose Spanish is because you didn't particularly need a specific degree to get into dental school. You just needed the credits, the coursework.
Yes.
And Spanish was a way to, number one, have fun, because, going to study abroad, learning a new language, that's just, so much fun. And then it was easier, all my colleagues that majored in biology or biochemistry, they were studying a little bit harder, and we were all learning the same things, but I was sort of learning a new skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, because I used to be that way. I used to think that I had to make it hard on myself. That was something I carried from my past. And I love what you just said. Make it easy.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
Yeah.
Like, do you know, I'll be 40 in September. I just learned that. Make it easy.
Yeah.
You're going to jump through all the hoops of fire, bend over backwards, fight giants and lions and sharks. Why? Just do what you do well. And that was the thing. It was like, I remember sitting in the hospital bed after my devastating college withdrawal, because I was medically withdrawn. And I remember sitting there on the edge of the bed. And I've always had a very close and very deep connection with the divine. So I'm always speaking to the divine. It's part of my shaman work now. Shaman, prophet, oracle, seer, healer. I do those things. They help me work and deliver messages that the world needs to hear. And I'm rarely ever off. People are always like, how did you know I was going through this? It's because of the connection. But so I'm sitting on the edge of my hospital bed and I'm crying, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Because this was my way out. And the divine said to me, you're going to look inside and you are going to use what comes naturally to you.
Yep.
And that's when I was like, well, I'm pretty and I can sing and I can act. And, so I started thinking about these things, and I'm good with fashion. And I decided right there, I was like, I'm gonna go into entertainment. And that was the decision was easier than the actual entrance, because What people don't understand is the entertainment industry reflects the majority. And African Americans, we are many, but we are not, quote unquote, the majority. So when you look around, especially in entertainment, they limit how many times you see one of us. And that was just, and I'm a brown girl. So, it was like, no, you're not what we're looking for. You're not what we're this. Oh, but you have a beautiful smile. I never had to have work on my smile. I just had to have an emergency root canal. That was crazy. But these are mine. Like, these are mine. I was born with them. And they were like, oh, you have an amazing smile. Keep smiling. Maybe something will happen for you. That was kind of like the attitude. But no one would invest.
No with a bow.
Yeah, no with a bow. Oh, I like that. No with a bow. Yes, no one would invest. And that's what a lot of young people don't understand, that, you need financial backing. So I always urge, Doc, I always urge young people that come to me for guidance, because now I'm a mentor as well. And I'm pricey. So I make sure I give them what they need in one session, and then they call me back when they need it. And I usually have repeat customers, long-term repeat customers. But I tell them, you've got to have something to fall back on. And it's got to be good. I urge them to go to college. I urge them to learn a trade, something that they can hold in their hand and do. And that for a long time was a bone of contention with myself because of college, because it was like I was forced to come home and head back into the inner city because I couldn't afford the suburbs. And with my college experience, I had come out, so I was gay. So it was like my family's devout Christian, even though 4 of my uncles and aunts are gay and lesbian. They were born again and denying the flesh. And I was like, no, I'm gay, and this is gonna help me. This is gonna help me. I'm going into fashion. Everybody, we designers, models, like,
No, we know what's going on.
yeah. So, but it was a lot, and I had to take a lot of customer service jobs, and I was very upset about that. But it gave me humility, and as I look back in retrospect, it gave me empathy, because I see a lot of people that, when I go to the store, I go and I make it my business to speak to the cashiers. Hi, how are you? How's your day? Thank you. What time you get off? I always ask that question, what time you get off? Because that's like, they want to be released too, because they don't want to be there. So that's the easiest way to get them talking to me. So I'm like, what time you get off? And I say it just like that. And they're like, oh, I get out of here at 8. I'm like, well, it's 6. You got 2 hours. That's how I do it. And I'm like, well, you got it. Go ahead. 2 hours and then you're free. And what people don't understand about the way that our capitalist society is set up is that you are actually penalized for not having money. All of the hard workers, we are penalized for not having a silver spoon in our mouths. Everything is harder. Everything is pricey. It is not a bed of ease. And people do not understand that about our society. So fast forward, you get into school, you leave, you study abroad. What Spanish country did you go to?
I was in Madrid, Spain, Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Costa Rica, San Jose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, here comes the test, because I was pretty good at Spanish. I took honors Spanish.
Okay.
Here we go, Doc. Tell me. I'll give you an easy one.
Okay.
Tell me that the weather in Madrid is going to be chilly, but there's a chance that the sun will come out later.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
All right.
You have to conjugate those verbs.
I don't use it every day now.
Exactly. Do what you can.
Okay. El tiempo en Madrid va a ser frío, pero más tarde va a ser sol.
Yeah. See? See, I like it. You clapping, you like, ooh. Yeah. Okay, money well spent. So you go to dentistry. How many years is dental school? Is it 3?
Dental school is 4 years.
4. Okay, it is 4. I didn't know. So 4. So tell me this. Okay, now you just piqued my interest. So 4 years of dental school. Where'd you go to dental school?
I went to dental school the same as my undergrad, and that's University of Alabama in Birmingham.
Nice.
Go Blazers.
Nice. See, yeah, you stayed, you played it close to the vest, which is also very, very good and very smart, because you also have the support systems in place. You know, a lot of kids, we're like, especially a lot of us, we're running from home. I ran 7 hours still in state.
I tried.
You tried. Okay. Did your mom say no? Did your mom say no?
No. She didn't say. She gave me the pros and cons and let me make the decision.
Okay. She like, look here, you're gonna be too far away. Like, I was 7 hours away from the Philadelphia area, still in state, and I got in trouble, honey. They had to drive. My grandmother was in her classroom teaching and got that call from the dean. Ooh. Yeah, the dean said, but the dean said to her, he's on suicide watch, and we're afraid. You need to come. You need to come, because last year, the year before me, they had a student that pretty much had something similar, and he committed suicide. And they were like, we don't want to lose him. You need to come. And they did. And my grandmother rescued me. Yeah, she rescued me. Actually, I was in jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't mean to be there, but when you're manic, you know, you don't really control your factory functions. You just do and do and do. And I think I had written a $5 check, and then it bounced. And then I decided that in my mania, because, you know, bipolar people, when they're manic, we walk. So I decided I needed new clothes. And I wrote a check to the tune of almost $500 for clothes, and didn't have a single dime in the bank. And the crazy thing about it was, what saved me was not only my grandmother, but that the storekeepers saw me take the bags, walk out the store, start crying, because that's what mania does, and throw the clothes in the dumpster. So they were able to retrieve the clothes, and they were like, something's wrong, because this person just walked out here, bought all this stuff, walked out of here and threw it in the dumpster, and then started crying and walked away. I was in, like, people don't understand that I was in pain. I was in mental pain. That's worse than, sometimes it's worse than physical pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you turn around and you do 4 years. Oh my God, what was it like to walk across that stage with your degree? For the second time.
For the second time. Honestly, it was just sort of one of those things. Obviously, very exciting, very exciting. It was so exciting to see my family there, my grandmother, who's no longer with us.
Wow, my condolences.
Thank you. I think I was more excited to let her see me.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was like, I've done all the work, you know, I've waited for this day. I knew it would come, you know, after all the hard work. Now that you asked me that, walking across the stage, it wasn't for me. It felt like it was like my calling. It felt like I was, you know, I'm not going to say it was easy by any means, but it was like, it just felt natural.
Yeah.
And, you know, my family set me up to where I couldn't fail.
Yeah.
You know? And so walking across the stage, it was just like, hey, y'all, I did it. And it was more so a presentation for them to see, you know, the fruits of their labor. Because like I said, I stand on their shoulders.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah. See, that's so beautiful. How is your mother today?
Mama's great. She's still in Demopolis, you know, living the country life, you know, and I love going home to visit. Like you said, as much as we try to escape, you realize it's all here. It's all inside, you know?
Yeah.
And I eventually still did leave. Obviously, you know, I'm here in New York.
Yeah.
I love going home. I love going home to visit now.
You are not playing any games. You are in New York City.
For what?
As a dentist in New York City. Oh, I don't want to see you on the weekends. Because I just know you're having the time of your life.
I am.
And that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. See, that was what I wanted, but I let it go. That was many years ago. It was 22 years ago. But you know, like it's just so beautiful to see how people evolve. So when you get your degree, When did you make the decision that you were going to go to the Big Apple? Was that something you always wanted to do? Because like for me, it was like movies. You know, they always play, it was always New York. If you want to do anything, you want to make it big, you go to New York. When does that happen?
I made that decision in 2011 before, it was when I was studying abroad in Madrid.
Okay. Okay. So you were like, I'm when I come back, I'm going New York.
When I came back, I was like, I don't know how, I don't know when. I was like, I'm going to be in a big city.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in a big city.
Would you say you're a metropolitan man?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, there's a saying that like New Yorkers are born everywhere.
Yeah.
Some happen to be born in New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
I happen to be born in Demopolis.
Yeah. Oh my God. So, okay, you get to New York. Walk me through your job search as a dentist. What was that like?
So the first job was pretty easy.
Okay.
I did my residency here in New York.
Okay.
And so, you know, moving here for me, it wasn't really hard at first. It wasn't hard at first because I already had that lined up. You know, I had been interviewing for months.
Yeah.
Then once I finally got the green light, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, find an apartment. Had some great friends who let me stay on their couch while I was looking for apartments back and forth.
Yeah.
And then got here, did residency for a year. Residency for dentistry, you know, not super intense like it is for medical doctors.
Okay.
So just kind of, you know, I won't say breezed by, but, you know, worked my way through residency, learned a lot. And then, you know, with my first job, it was a connection that I had at the hospital. And she knew a guy who was looking for somebody. And, you know, we just kind of met up a few times. We talked about dreams and goals, and everything was in alignment. And I started my first job.
You see, isn't that amazing? It really does matter who you know.
Yes, absolutely.
It really does. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for the people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have people respect me for my mind, something that they said was faulty, you know? So turn around and you're there. Oh my God. When did you shop for clothes? Like when were the suits and the ties and the...
You know, that sort of thing, I let my friends help me out with that.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love fashion, that does not come to me naturally.
Okay.
That does not come to me naturally. I'm numbers, science, formula. Yes. I can see
the other side of the brain, not the artistic side.
I see it in my brain.
Yeah.
But I got here, obviously, you're forced to keep up.
Yeah.
Forced to, but it's just like you're encouraged to kind of stay, you know, up with the trends. And you know, I left Gap behind.
Right.
In Alabama, although I still wear their jeans.
Yeah.
And you know, just kind of play and have fun, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just literally every corner that you walk on, somebody's trying to sell you a shirt. Wow. It's a funny story. I remember when I was moving out of my first apartment and I gave a bunch of my clothes away. And as I was driving away in the U-Haul, I saw my clothes on the fence. Like this guy was selling clothes on the fence.
Oh my God.
Literally. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. So you said 2011. So you've been practicing for a while now.
So 2011, that was when I was studying abroad in Madrid.
Okay. So you came after that. So I want to say 2012, 2013.
So I was in dental school from 2013 to 2017.
Oh, so you just got out.
Yeah, I've been in New York since 2017.
Wow.
So about 5 years.
So what was that? 2 years before COVID?
Let's
19, see. Yeah, 17, 18, 19, 2 years before COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay. So you've been practicing for 5 years.
Yeah.
Do you keep account of how many root canals you do?
I don't, you know, it's funny. I don't do a lot of root canals.
Okay.
I do them. So I can count maybe, you know,
in 5 years.
Not on one hand, but I, you know, less than 100 probably.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking because I just had one done.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, but you know what's so funny? Everybody hates going to the dentist.
Uh-huh.
I I have an affinity for the dentist. Like I love the dentist.
Yeah.
I not offended, that's the opposite word. But anyway, I love
You
the
don't
dentist.
mind. I was the same way as a kid.
Yeah, like I love the dentist. I love them working in my mouth. I love them making sure that it is right. Like, and I love because I love when people ask me, "Oh, who's your dentist? Where'd you get your veneers?" Like I love that, especially in the world of um entertainment where everybody's wearing veneers and things like that. I love for them to be like, "Oh, well, who did your teeth?" And I'm like, "Baby, I've had one root canal, I've had one implant. These are mine." And they're like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't, like I lived from a little boy. I had this smile. Like it came in this way. My sisters and brothers weren't as fortunate. They had to have work done. But I look at it this way. I was destined for stardom. So I needed my teeth to be,
I
you
agree.
know,
I couldn't
yeah. So
like this too.
see, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
They think, "Oh, you're a dentist," so they're like, "Oh, well, you had no, baby. These chompers here, they're the original."
Yeah.
But I do think, and I can say this to you because you're a dentist. I do think about ways to protect them as I get older because certain gum diseases, gingivitis and things run in my family. And for a while, I had receding gums. And there was one point where I had to have scaling done. And that kind of like cleared up the problem. But I've always like watched, after that experience. So I know those are two different things, but still, like I had the receding gum line, but I needed scaling as well. And scaling, that was doc.
I know.
I'm like, that was all. And I'm sitting in that chair, clenching my fist, like, this is to save my teeth. This is to save my teeth. And I'm just like, oh my God. I've never had to have that done again. So, whew,
You learned your lesson.
yes. And I'm just like, woo, you got to floss and, all of that stuff. And
Get in there.
yeah, listen, I lay in bed and floss. I lay in bed and floss. I really do. I'll be watching, and that's what I was saying. Like, I don't really watch television. So I have my computer, it's for work, and then I will open up YouTube and I'll open up, we have Xfinity, and I'll open up Disney Plus, and I will watch the Golden Girls. Right now, I'm in the Golden Girls season. I've been watching the Golden Girls for 3 weeks. And I compiled and made this huge like playlist, and it's private. And the Golden Girls, it's just so calming. I had something traumatic happen to me recently.
Okay.
My brother, he's schizophrenic, and I let him stay with me for a year, me and my grandmother and I. And he was put out of the army due to his outburst and things like that. And in the interim of helping him, he tried to kill me.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it was a very traumatic experience, like laying on the floor, literally feeling the life drain from you. And it was a very traumatic thing. But I ended up winning that fight because it wouldn't have stopped with just me. It was my grandmother that he wanted to get to. And yeah, so it there's a restraining order for 3 years, et cetera, et cetera. But I said that to say, the Golden Girls is like the only thing that I can stomach right now. Like everything else is too complex. Last night I watched Harry Potter 1 and 2. And even them, like even when they would get to the traumatic scenes and the fighting and the confrontation, I'm like, oh, this is it. Like I'm not yet there.
Yeah.
But I say that and I bring that up because I talk about it. I want people to understand that just because you're a successful person does not mean that you're not going to have hardships. And it does not mean that you're doing something wrong. I had a hardship in association with someone else. It's not me. I'm good. I'm balanced. I take my mental meds. Like I'm doing what I have to do. But I learned a very valuable lesson that you can be in danger trying to help people. And then they can almost ruin what you're doing. So I realized I had to pull back. So, excuse me, my capacity is a little different now, but the Golden Girls, I'll stay there. The Golden Girls, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they're helping me through it. So 5 years practicing. Tell me how it was to work during the initial onset of COVID.
Right. So, I think it was like end of 2019 into
Yep.
2020.
Yep.
We started hearing about this virus. We weren't really sure. And I think it was the second week in March when we officially shut down.
Yep.
I was with one practice and we closed for 3 months.
Ooh.
Yeah. The office was completely closed and I just literally wasn't working for 3 months.
Wow, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that was scary. I don't want to try, like, I don't want to trigger your trauma. Like, I don't want to.
No, for me, honest. So I was with my ex at the time.
Okay.
And we went down to Virginia to stay at his sister's house.
Right.
So for me, it wasn't traumatic. Like I said, I love to relax. I love to not do anything. I love to do nothing.
Just be still. Yeah.
Just to be still, to be
Yeah.
still. And I think that's a very hard thing for a lot of people to do.
It
just
is.
to be still.
Mm-hmm.
To be still, because we are encouraged to like grind culture.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hustle 24/7.
That's a hustle. Mm-hmm.
Let's show off. Let's do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's flex.
Yeah.
Be still.
Yeah.
Me being still was very well welcomed, and yeah, I just had a chance to connect, to go within, to relax, to sit still, and I feel like I didn't have anything to prove at that time.
Yeah.
So I was just doing what I needed to do to get by.
Now I'm going to ask a personal question. You don't have to answer this. Did the practice compensate you for the 3 months?
They did. So I was doing.
You were one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we got this, not the stimulus, but unemployment.
Okay. So they gave you that. What people don't understand about unemployment is the company you work for has to pay it. They don't understand that. So they paid into it for you. Okay.
So I was collecting unemployment, and my practice actually compensated the difference to bring me to my salary.
Oh, thank goodness.
So yeah.
I'm happy to hear that, because it was like, even me, I'm an entrepreneur, employed, and literally when COVID hit, one of my businesses just, it was gone. It was gone. Because as an entertainer, if you can't entertain, it was very, I didn't really, I want to say I didn't really get up and going until late last year. And then I was able to forge a new LLC. I think it was late last year. It might have been last year, 2021. Yeah, it was 2021. Yeah, 2021, I was able to forge a new LLC. So I've been going a while. Yeah, so, and this time I've put things in place, because it's just like, yeah, it's just that was such a difficult time. But I worked the whole time. I was in front of this camera the whole time.
Awesome.
And and the thing was, I did, before this, like, back to where I'm best known on Instagram, because for 6 years I did these, my trademark is the Queen of Shade. So I did these shade videos where they were 60 seconds, and they were basically empowerment. They would tell you, live your life, be yourself, do not suppress yourself, do not hide yourself. I talk about different topics, but my favorite topic was be who you were created to be. Disappoint the people around you who think they know you. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to grow. So I gave very, very impactful messages. And like I said, one thing about bipolar 1 is I get a lot of energy and not a lot of depression. So it gave me a lot of energy to just go. So in 6 years, I created 22,000 of those videos. And they're fully scripted by me. I wrote them, I produced them, I performed them. And then at the same time, wrote the albums. I have 4 albums, now 3, because I think I just took one down. I want to do something to it. So I have 3 albums out now, because I took one off the market, but I'm going to do something to it. Yeah, I want to do like a I don't want to give it away because people, but I'm gonna like make it like, I want to make it like a little more trance, a little more, because I already do up tempo, like it's like pop, but it's not pop. So, but I want to do something to that album and then I'll release it again. But yeah, like that was a difficult time. And you know what's so funny? I filed my taxes for last year, this year. Do you know they gave me the stimulus?
Really?
Yes. They like, I didn't expect to get anything back because you're writing things off and you're pretty much canceling out. It's like, okay, well, you're put your expenses are through your business. But my accountant writes me and he's like, you're getting the stimulus check. And I'm like, well, because I didn't get it. I didn't get it during the pandemic. I didn't get it. I was self-employed, And I'm thinking, okay, well, how are small businesses going to make it? And I said I didn't. It went out of business. And then I started another one. And my accountant's like, congratulations. And I'm like, what? He's like, $1,400 is coming your way. And I'm like, what? And then get this, after receiving, and I mean, it hit my direct deposit. You know how that direct deposit hit. I was like, whoo, and then immediately all the things I was going to do went out the window because I had to have a freaking emergency root canal. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, but it worked out because my teeth they got to be, listen,
priorities.
Listen, I do this. We smiling at each other. I couldn't be missing a tooth. Yeah, I couldn't be missing a tooth. Say it again, Doc. I didn't hear you.
I said, you can't afford to not smile.
Right. Are you crazy? That's the part of the brand. So as quick as it came was as quick as it went. But it made me realize that it was very much the same for all those people during COVID. Because it really wasn't enough. It really wasn't. Like to buy food, to pay rent, to mortgage, it wasn't enough. And I heard about, because I have friends in other countries, so they talked about their governments giving them money every single, especially London, every single month they were getting money from their governments because, that's what I love about Europe. I'm actually planning to move back. It's just because the socialization is not just like they have socialized healthcare and all of these things that can be amazing if done right. And all we have here is social media. That's what we get. And it's like, no, they literally took care of their people. They insisted because, they were saying like, if the weakest among us is down, we're all down. But that's America does not share that same sentiment. So you get through COVID. When did you return to work?
We were out for 3 months. So March to June of 2020. I went back June 6th, I believe.
Okay. Now I said that because when you started, you said my first practice. So I thought you might have gone to another practice coming back.
Yes, I switched practices during COVID.
Oh, okay. So then you came back to a new, okay. This is a personal question. So, no, I want to move on.
Ask the question.
Okay. Because I usually like, it's just my curiosity, I'm not Wendy, I'm not none of them, but I wanted to know how your job felt that they were paying the unemployment and then you leave them.
I didn't leave right away.
Okay. Well, you were smart. Okay, you were smart.
No. I was back for a couple of months. I actually was back for 6 months.
Oh, okay, good. So you gave them.
Yeah.
See, okay, so I'm glad I asked because now people get to see, this man has a heart. He didn't just,
Ask the question so we can clear it up.
Clear it up. Clear it up. I thank you for doing that because, it just sparked my mind. I'm like, okay, well, if you left, were they upset and said, we ain't gonna pay this no more? But okay, I understand. Then you moved to a new practice. Okay. And clearly you love dentistry and dentistry in New York.
Yes, I do.
Do you see a lot of patients?
I do. Yeah. I think I see the most new patients in the practice.
How do they respond to you being a gorgeous young dentist?
No, I
You knew
just,
that was coming. I'm like, because baby, you got it. So how do they respond? Look at you, you're blushing. So how do they respond? Like, do they walk in like, I want that dentist. I want that dentist.
So I'm on a platform. It's called ZocDoc.
Okay.
Not sure if you've heard of it, but
no.
It's a way for patients to find any kind of medical professional that they need, whether it's dentist, doctor, dermatologist, proctologist, dermatologist, whatever you need.
Yeah.
And you have a profile, and you get to see the provider. And there aren't a lot of Black dentists.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I was getting to that. Yeah.
And so, whenever I see a patient in a chair, a Black patient, maybe a patient of the LGBT community,
yes,
I walk in and I kind of assume that, they've seen me on ZocDoc, or, they kind of know what I look like. But I like to just talk about the patient. It's all about the patient, I meet them where they are in terms of dental anxiety, and I try to talk about anything other than dentistry.
Yeah.
I just really try to get to know the patient, and I want it to feel like we're friends first, and then I'm your dentist second.
Are you crazy? You're about to make me leave my dentist. I'm about to come to dentistry in New York. I'm like, you travel all the way to New York to get your teeth back? Yes, I do, baby. Have you seen him? Have you seen him? But yeah, like people, like that's how people are. Like that's how people are. That is how people are. And I'm using that as a segue because you're this beautiful young African-American man who is successful, who has class, who has elegance. And I'm just glad that you recognize showbiz. Like I'm glad, like I'm so glad about that, because I will say this: African American people, not all, but a majority, we're very charismatic. Yeah. So, being charismatic, when was the time that someone said, or when did you decide, like, I'm a dentist, but I could be on TV, I could be in movies. When did that come?
I think it's always been there.
Okay.
Going back to what you said, having something to fall back on.
Yes.
Crucial.
Yes. Dentistry
is what pays my rent, puts food on the table, affords me to go to brunch.
Yeah.
On the weekend.
Yes.
That it's a means to an end, to a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a place where I can afford to branch out, figure it out, have fun. I just started an improv class.
Wow.
That I do once a week to kind of get the gears turning, to figure out where I fit in, what comes naturally, like you said earlier. So like I said, I think it's always been there. My mom was like, take care of business first, make sure that's secured, and then have fun.
Oh my gosh. So here we go. Lightning round. How did you get on 12 Dates of Christmas? What was that process like?
So, going back to what you said is, you have that seed in your mind. And I just sort of kept speaking about it.
Yeah.
I kept speaking. I want to be in some form of entertainment. I just kept speaking. That's the thing. You know this.
Yeah.
Speak towards your dreams and not your limitations.
Yep.
And I still do it to this day. Just talk about what I want to do and where I want to be. They actually reached out to me on Instagram.
See, people. Okay. Hold it right there.
Yeah.
People do not realize how, I said all we have is social media, but listen here, they do not realize how powerful it is. It is. Okay, so go ahead. They reached out on you. What was the message like, and when did you know, like, oh shit, this is real?
So in the original message, I'm sorry, I keep looking at my dog. She's over here.
That's okay. What kind of doggy do you have? I love animals.
A Maltipoo.
Oh,
yeah, I'll show you.
She's a little thing, yeah.
At the end.
Okay.
So I got a message from a guy. He said, "Hey, saw your profile. Looks like you'd be a good fit for our show." He didn't tell me too much about it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Let me know if you're interested in learning more about it."
Yeah.
And so I messaged him back. We set up a time to talk. It was a FaceTime.
Yeah.
So that was like on a Thursday. I didn't think much about it over the weekend. Fast forward to Monday, I'm hanging out with my cousin, and I get a FaceTime from an unknown number.
Uh-huh.
And usually when I get a call from an unknown number, I'm like,
exactly. We don't do that.
right.
But something said,
Yeah,
I
I pick up my phone and I see my face. I see an unknown number. I'm like, wait, like if somebody's brave enough to FaceTime me, then they must really like want to talk to me, you know?
Yeah.
So I pick up the FaceTime and I'm like, oh, hey. And so I forgot that we had set up the meeting. You know, fast forward to, he lets me know it's a dating show centered around Christmas, and it's going to be on HBO Max. And that's kind of all I needed to hear for it to be like, okay, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. You see, I want to teach a lesson here. And it's going to be a hard one. And people are going to get mad with me, but that's okay.
Okay.
Here comes the lesson. Not to you, it's to our viewers.
Gotcha.
Hollywood is also interested in successful people. They don't want someone working per se, a job going nowhere, laying on a couch, doing nothing, no drive, no passion, no dream. So many people think that they are good candidates for the entertainment industry. But the entertainment industry is designed to entertain a group of people that can afford to be entertained. Entertainment, though it reaches the masses, is really for those that have disposable income that can afford to be entertained. And people don't realize that, which is why it is so hard to break into the entertainment industry when you don't have things to fall back on, when you don't have financial capital. I can say this because I was in that boat, running around New York City, Union Square, running around there, those areas, going to request model management, going to major model management, going to next model management, doing all of these go-sees. And I'm walking in basically off the street. And people don't understand. I would dress a certain way, but they'd ask me, what do you do? That was the number one question. What do you do? Oh, well, I work retail. Okay. They look at the book. Your look is good. I never was told in New York that I didn't have the look. They always told me, you have the look. What they wouldn't tell me is you don't have no money. They want, in this industry, the people that make it come from certain situations. And one of those situations is something to fall back on. Because this is the thing, when they put you on screen, you yourself, Doc, they can market you to many demographics. You fit in many demographics. When people look at you, other young dentists are going to say, oh, I can date, I can find this, I can, listen, I got tired of, and I'm gonna just say this, people, and I won't say it was Zeus reaching out to me. I won't defame them like that, but I'll just say I got tired of people writing me talking about some, oh, I'm in affiliation. I don't know. So allegedly I'm in affiliation with the Zeus network and would like to bring you on board. And I'm like, honey, Zeus network is about a bunch of ratchet people that fight all the time. How you see this illustrious brand that I have built from Paris to the moon, and you think I'm gonna be on Zeus network fighting with somebody? But these people that reach out, they watch you. oh, it would be a good idea to bring out that ghetto side of her. She's from the projects anyway. So this will cater to a certain group of people. I'm like, no, honey, I speak to doctors, stars, celebrities, couturiers around the world. Like people don't understand that when you are seeking a career in entertainment, you have to look in the mirror and be real with yourself. Who do I represent? What demographic do I represent? It wasn't until my grandmother retired from teaching and handed me her retirement, all of it, that I got my shot. My grandmother did that.
Wow.
To the tune of 6 figures.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And that never happens. It makes me emotional. It never happens.
Wow. I just got chills. Wow.
Yeah, I did too. But I'm so thankful that the divine saw fit to use me anyway. Mm-hmm. I didn't have the right credentials at birth. I didn't have the right credentials as far as education. But I'm gifted. I'm anointed. And I am highly, highly intelligent. And it took my grandmother's seed for me to be able to build a platform, reach the masses, and now be getting the types of offers that I'm turning down, mind you, because me and entertainment in America, we have a sordid past. So I'm not trying to be somebody's, no, what is this? What's the bottom line? What do I get? No.
What?
Yeah, because it's like, I have this brand now. I'm not a lunchbox. I didn't prepare this meal inside, and then you come along and slap your name on the outside and get credit for creating all of this. No. So that's why I'm just like, nope, Europe. I'm not even thinking about it. But people need to ask themselves, really, who do I appeal to? I get young men all the time because on my page, I show a lot of Black and Latin men, and they usually are very beautiful. They're usually very muscular. And they're like, people are always like, oh, you find the best men, you find the best men. Oh, yes, they're beautiful. Yes, they are, but they're not models. They don't fit the actual fashion criteria. But get this, that's my endeavor to change that, because these beautiful men that have these amazing bodies and are a little larger than sample size need to be represented in the industry. Because you, me, it is nothing like seeing a Black man with a straight back in a suit. It's a wonderful sight. It steps the bar. Black man walks into a room with a nice suit. It's tailored. Honey, he leaving with all the women and the men. He leaving with everybody. Everybody's following him. And that's the thing. So I look at these brands like Alexander McQueen and all of these brands, Tom Ford, and I'm like, we need a Black presence. But I've been told, even in Paris, Black people don't wear our clothes. Yeah. They can't afford our clothes. So I'm tired of being shut out of something that I know I belong in. Nobody had to teach me my fashion sense. I see the outfits in my mind before I put them together. It's a gift.
It is. It's your gift. That's the thing. Everybody has one.
Yes.
Everybody.
I agree. And I did a video before we came on here, and I talked about, just because we're both cars, you're a Mercedes, I'm a BMW, we are wired differently. We serve different purposes. We may be cars to deliver people to their destinations, but we have different functions. We have different functions, and we should, but I try to educate these young men, because I push Black and Latin men all the time, but I need them to be serious. I need them to understand, I didn't get a degree, but it worked out for me. Take your Black ass to school and get a degree. And that's the thing, I get mad with them. No, everybody don't have money. There's ways. FAFSA, there's ways. And quit, and this is the thing, Quit talking about you don't want to pay student loans because you don't want to owe anybody. Well, baby, if you go into the music industry, the acting industry, or modeling industry, they're going to do the same thing. You're going to have to pay them back. It's the same thing. I tell people all the time, the entertainment industry is corporate America. People are just enamored by the smoke and mirrors. But at the end of the day, it's a boardroom deciding what's going to happen with this star, what this star is going to wear, what she's going to look like, where she's going to perform, how she's going to be photographed, with who she's going to be photographed. It is corporate America. And you can't navigate this with a barnyard mentality.
I studied abroad on credit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if it were up to like my financial, I wouldn't have been there.
Mm-mm.
Wouldn't have been there.
And you accepted the responsibility knowing I'm going to pay them back.
I knew what I was, I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It prepares you. Doc, it prepared you because when you walk into this industry and you've been featured, you're on television, you're on HBO Max. Now you know I can't get something for nothing. You know this. Yeah. I can't get something for nothing. And that is what so many of our people need to understand. Like I have men, because get this, I interview all kinds of men. And my favorite men to interview, Black and Latin, are the adult film stars. I have a way of humanizing them because the world has fetishized them for so long. But and the reason why I interview them is because I want the rest of the young men watching to understand that OnlyFans, just because you have an OnlyFans, doesn't mean you're going to be successful. You are going to have to spend money on production, your body, maintenance, and care. They think, oh, I just got an OnlyFans and I'm going to promote it and it's going to be successful. No. Even in the adult industry, because sex work is real work, but even in the adult entertainment industry, you have to work hard. And a lot of my babies, sad to say, they wanted the easy way. So, and they come to me because it's like, you want me now to give you what I've worked so hard for. 22 years. All of the setbacks, 15 years of therapy, 15 years of treatment and medication. I earned my place. And I may not necessarily have to pay a corporate American company back, but I got to make sure my grandmother is good for the rest of her life. I got to give her back her money and then some, because she took care of my overhead. You know, people, they don't understand that, Doc. And that's why the industry only continues to represent a certain type of Black man. That's why. They don't want the lazy. Entertainment is not for the lazy. You sitting still is not being lazy. That's you in your downtime. Because right. look at what you give to the world. Yeah. You see, look at all that you give. You give so much, more than most. And it's like, okay, so when I get a chance to sit still, I'm sitting still because I'm tired. You know, you earned that. Tell me a little bit about the show. What was the premise of the show? 12 Dates of Christmas.
So when they chose me, it's sort of like Bachelor style in the sense that there were 3 main leads.
Okay.
And we have to find someone to take home for the holidays, for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And we go on a series of dates with multiple men or women, whoever. And we have different elimination ceremonies where the weakest connection was sent home.
And you were a lead? I
was a lead.
You're going to be a star. They see it. I saw it. I'm like, oh, you're going to be a star. You already are.
Like,
So tell me, how was it? What? Tell me about the men that they presented you with. Did you have to say what you liked and then they went out and tried to find it, or did they just throw y'all together? No, no, no. The reason why I'm saying this is I understand entertainment, so don't give it away. Don't spoil. Yeah, don't spoil it, because
okay,
these people gotta believe the illusion. I work
yeah.
in entertainment, so I know. But just how were the men sourced?
The men were. It was a very high caliber of men.
Mhm,
Very handsome, very attractive.
mhm,
Um, I have somewhat of a connection with pretty much everyone that was in the house
mhm, mhm.
to this day. It
Yeah.
may be very strong. It may be a like on your story here and there, but very like-minded people.
I was getting ready to say that because it's a community. All of you
Yeah,
guys are going for the same thing now. So it's like, okay, I found somebody I can hang with. I found somebody that understands,
yeah, yeah.
and that's the beautiful thing about it. It's so crazy because I love entertainment. I do. I love what I do. I love being who I am.
I love that.
But I just couldn't be someone's property. I couldn't be somebody's property. I had a story to tell. It wasn't pretty. It has turned to be pretty. I mean, and I'll be 40 in September, and it's triumphant now. But I don't want anybody else controlling my narrative. I'm just not prepared to give that up. I'm kind of the girl that gets it at last instead of, in the beginning or all at once. I get it at last. And I'm okay with being the at last girl.
But sometimes I feel like it's sweeter there.
It is. It is. If had I gotten this in my 20s,
You wouldn't have known what to do with it.
and I would have messed it up because I hadn't had treatment yet for my mental illness. And people would have used me for everything that they could get and discarded me. And now that I'm 40, looking like I'm 27, and my voice has been preserved exceptionally well. I'm a soprano. It's crazy. I'll have to send you my links to my music. You're gonna be like, whoa. Yeah, you're gonna be like, whoa. But it's been preserved because I have been, like you said, sitting, but working, and it's a beautiful thing to have been able to add value to my life. Because I said this in an interview 2 days ago. Now, today, even Europe, they're not calling me for my music. They're calling me for me and my experience. They're calling me for what you've learned and how you've triumphed and how you give back. That's what they're calling me for. They're not calling me for, it's like, well, if you come, you can sing a song, but we want you to speak to the people. We want you to do what you do. I'm an intellectual entertainer. That's what I do. So it's like, we want you to speak to the people. No, no, no. You can sing a song or two if you want, and I usually don't. I usually don't. I sing to myself. That's how it started. I've always sang to myself. When my mother was doing her drugs and my father was God knows where, I was up in my room singing my heart out. That's what I did. So it's very therapeutic, and I guard it. I share it with the world, yes. But as far as singing, it's for me. It's for me. And it's like, thank God I have all these other talents because it's for me. People say, well, when you get to Europe, will you perform? Well, I may, but when I get to Europe, I plan to use Europe as my backdrop. I plan to use the EU as my backdrop for a lot of my visuals, like my music videos and things like that. I'm gonna be running all over Europe doing that. But again, that will be for, production, filmed, and then released to the public. I'm all about my coin. I need my coin. And getting it over the residual over and over and over again. So tell me how your life has changed since the show.
Since the show, honestly, it just gave me sort of for me personally, the show was sort of it's like a wink from the universe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was saying, I see what you want to do.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
let me just give you a little
Yeah.
taste of, you know, where you're headed.
Yeah.
And so it's just changed my mentality in the sense that people want what you want to give.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, like you know that was your gift. And you know, being seen, being scouted for the show, it just sort of gave me, not that I needed it, but it sort of gave me an what's the word I'm looking for? Confirmation,
Yep.
or you know, affirmation. It's still
Yeah.
not the word for it, but it's saying, go ahead, permission, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's when I kicked in my creativity, my other side projects into gear. And that's what I've been working on ever since.
I was going to say, so since then, you've had your creative juices fired up, recharged, put through the ceiling. What are you working on right now as far as entertainment? If you can't say, you can't say, because you know sometimes you can't say. But
sure.
Even if it's a simple no to I'm acting, you know.
Yeah. Like I said, I started improv class a couple of weeks ago. Meet once a week. I recently launched a YouTube channel where I talk about, you know, different, let's call them taboo topics.
Yes.
Regarding mental health, wellness, lifestyle, how you talk to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mindset, really.
You know what? That's amazing, because like for me, you know what the crazy thing is now, for me, most people think like, oh, well, what's next for you? What's next for you? This is the career. I needed a safe space where I could be myself. I don't go out like this. I've always been a cross-dresser. I've been cross-dressing since I was 8 years old, but I do it for me as well. And I'm sharing it with the world, but I'm sharing it from within a very safe space, because I'm too elegant for the drama. I can't, no. So, you know, Europe is way more accepting. They were, even when I went the first time, they had no problem with me walking into women's shows. There was no problem. They understood that. I didn't understand that then, but I understand it now.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely. I would say, like I said, I've always wanted to be on the internet. I knew that I could reach the masses on the internet. You know, so many people say to me, oh, am I going to see you on television? When am I going to see you on this? Or when am I going to see you on that? And it puzzles them when I say, baby, you're not. You're not. No, you won't. And they're like, why? You know, you got to come off the internet. I'm like, no, 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 no. This is where I belong. You know, but I want to ask a question. So you've decided, you've launched your platform so that you can build yourself. Do you have your SAG card and AFTRA?
I do not, because I don't know if it was because it was a reality show, but I do not have SAG.
Well, you know you can get it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay, here we go. What you do is you take acting classes.
Okay.
And then with SAG, it used to be $1,500. I think it's $3,000 now. I think it's up, but your Screen Actors card. But what you do is, and for those of people that don't understand, see, they think, oh, you know, you were blessed. And I'm telling you were blessed because they saw you, look at you. They were like, let's give him an opportunity. He's successful. He's this. Everything is right in his universe. Let's give him a chance. You know, let's give it to him. And that's what happened. And to follow up, what you now do is you take acting classes, and then you apply for your SAG and AFTRA card. And what happens is you have to, back in the day, you had to go on, I think 3 auditions. You had to book 3 jobs, I think it was. And they could be, you know, background work. It could be voiceover work. It could have been anything like that. An extra, you know, like that's what background work means. But once you were awarded that card, SAG and AFTRA, you're a part of the union. So then you can be paid as a screen actor. You can be paid the salary of a screen actor, and then you can start to work, and then your IMDb comes involved. That's the little website that tells you what your credits are, you know. So yeah, you can pursue your SAG and AFTRA card. I would definitely have you Google, because they have a website. Hold on, let me just do that real quick. Let me just look. Let me just look. I just want to make sure I'm giving you the right AFTRA, AFTRA. There it is, SAG and AFTRA. membership. Yeah, they have a website. It's sagaftra.org. And then once you go there, it tells you how to join, steps to join. There it is, steps to join. And it tells you where they're located. New York and Los Angeles. New York, I'll say that again, and Los Angeles. We're there in New York. Get your card. SAG and AFTRA. I know what I'll do. Screenshot. See, text it to you right now so you can see. And then you can just find it because you can see what I typed in. There you go. Text it to you. And see, that's another thing. Me doing what I do, I like you said, I am given access. We texting. We're in each other's network now, you know? And that just doesn't happen with anyone. You know, as a doctor, you can't afford to have everybody around you. You know, what I do, I can't afford to have everybody around you. Money hangs out with money. No other way to say that. Money hangs out with money. Success hangs out with success. And I need people to understand that. But go ahead, you were saying something?
No, I was just saying it's the law of the universe.
It is. Like you got to do that. You got to do that. It was very hard for me to get here, but I've established a reputation. I'm here. You know, all kinds of people talking to me. I have famous, you know, people that are singers and have performed on television and all of this stuff coming to my camera. That's why I never announce who's coming. I love to just put it out. Surprise. Right? Gotcha, bitch. You know, like I love to just put it out there. But I'm glad that we had this conversation because I'm glad that through it all, I took away a lot of good things that you said. But at the end, you know, the universe gave you a wink. Now here's some homework. You see? Yep. Get your SAG and AFTRA card and you'll get it again. Because they'll ask you, well, what have you done? Once you go, that might even qualify for one of the auditions because they'll be like, okay, you booked it and you were on the show. You may get it faster. Once you tell them, I did this, you can look at this. I'm on HBO Max right now. You can see this. You know, then they're like, oh, okay. Well, 2 more, you know? And then you book. There's so, like, what people don't understand is there are so many actors working right now behind the scenes. Not everyone is in the public eye. Making a damn good living they are. Some of them are making more money than the people in front of the camera. And people don't understand that. There are different ways to get into this business. And, you know, when I was in Paris, I met the fashion editor of Essence magazine who told me I should be a freelance fashion journalist on top of everything. Because she said the way you speak and the way you write and the way you get into these shows, because I came the Philly boy, long hair, and I saw more shows than some of the editors. I was in because I looked the part. And then when I got in there, it wasn't just the look. I could expound on what I saw because I knew. I sounded like I belonged there. And it was like, oh, okay. But she told me, use every single talent you have to arise a respected opinion in this business. And she wasn't just talking about fashion. She was talking about fashion, film, and music, because it's all the same industry. Even adult film, it's all the same industry. They know everybody. It happens that way.
Wow.
Yes, it is a very small community. They know everyone. So, all right, Doc, I have held up your relaxation day long enough. Give me 3 words that inspire you.
3 words that inspire me.
Yeah.
Faith. Faith. Resilience.
Yeah. I stump everyone with these.
Resilience. Determination.
Yes. Yes. True to your life. We've seen it. So before we go, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Dr.Markelle, Markelle.
Now, is the doctor spelled out or is it the DR?
DR.
Okay, so Dr.Markelle. Okay. Yeah, I'll put it in the description section. Yeah. Now, before I officially do my ending, I want to see your puppy.
Ah, okay. Okay, you about to die.
Beautiful people. Oh, oh, oh. She's so pretty. Hi, baby. Oh, I had a guy on the other day, right? He's from Ontario, Canada. His name is Seth Falk. He brought his parrots into the screen, and the screen, it said hello and whistled at me.
Oh.
It did. I was like, oh my God. What's her name?
Her name is Coco.
Coco. How old is she?
She's 7 months.
Oh, she's 7 months. You just got her. She's a
baby.
baby.
The baby.
Oh, look at her. She loves you. She loves you. Oh, she's going to have a good life. Look at her.
Hey, baby.
Oh, stay just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Dr. Markelle Smith. Thank you so much for doing this and agreeing to talk to little old me.
Oh, stop. you that's not true.
I just thank you so much. And I see, as a shaman and an oracle, I see so many great things in your future. And above all, happiness, true happiness, the essence of happiness. Because like you said, you have dreams, you have things that you desire. And those things shall be yours. They shall be yours. So just take that away. All right, we're saying goodbye. Say goodbye.
Queen, thank you so much for having me. This has been such a pleasure.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.
So did you enjoy? I hope you did. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to cash at me at the Queen of Shade. I am your favorite content creator, right? Right. You want to see more of this content, right? Right. Cash at me. I love you. Mwah.
I've got my black stilettos on. Don't you make me take them off. I'm assuming first position. Wanna show you I'm a boss. I've been given 60 seconds just to put my thing down. I'll have you wanting my stilettos by the time I turn around. Turn that TV down.